What happens if you try to germinate seeds that are really, really old? You're about to find out. In my new allotment, I found a mysterious old box. Inside, I found herb and vegetable seed packets from 1990. These seeds sat unplanted and untouched for 34 years. My first instinct was to throw away these ancient seeds. Surely they're never going to grow. But as a plant scientist, I felt an experiment was in order. Stay watching to see what happens to these seeds of times gone by. But first, let me show you how to quickly and easily test the germination of your own seeds, whether they're old seeds or just seeds you're not sure will grow. So, all you need to test your seeds are a piece of kitchen roll or thick tissue, a takeaway box or plastic bag, some tap water, and of course, the seeds you want to test. These aren't the really old seeds I talked about. I'll get to those soon. To start your test, take your piece of kitchen paper, fold it in half like this, and make the kitchen paper damp to the touch, but not dripping wet. Then, place your seeds spaced out evenly on one half of the kitchen paper. Sometimes you may not have very many seeds to spare, so you may need to test fewer seeds. And that's okay, but having lots of seeds will mean a more precise test. Now, when the seeds are in place, fold the damp kitchen paper in half again, so the seeds are trapped in the middle of the layers of damp paper. Your germination test should now look like an unappetizing paper and seed sandwich. Place the damp kitchen paper containing the seeds in a sealed plastic box, like a Tupperware or a sealable bag, and place it in a warm, or at least room temperature location. Leave your seeds alone to germinate for as long as the seed packet suggests. I'll leave mine for 7 days. Now, 7 days later, I unpeel the kitchen paper and count how many seeds have germinated. This sprouting means they've germinated. I see 15 germinated seeds here out of 20 seeds I put on the paper, so a 75% seed germination rate. As a result of this quick test, I now know these onion seeds should grow for me this year. You want your successful seed germination rate to be above about 3/4 or 75% to know that your seeds have a high chance of growing when you sow them. Now, time for the real deal. Let's get back to those 34-year-old plant seeds. I'm going to repeat the germination steps I just showed you. I've got a huge range of 1990s herb and vegetable seeds here, including parsnips, runner beans, tomatoes, lettuce, onion, basil, and pumpkins, over 25 different varieties in total. Like my earlier test, I've put my old seeds in the damp kitchen roll sandwich, in a plastic bag, in my airing cupboard, on a tray, just so I don't drop them. Now, I'll just wait, you guessed it, 7 days for these seeds to hopefully germinate. So while I'm waiting for these very old seeds to show signs of life, what do I think is going to happen? Can my seeds, well, succeed? At this point, I predict that a few seeds will germinate, but I don't think most of the seeds will. I think that only a few of the seeds that are known to be tough will germinate, like the tomatoes or leaf beet seeds, also known as chard. But overall, due to the decades-old age of these seeds and the unstable storage conditions, I admit I don't have much hope. Why? Well, while we're waiting for these old seeds to germinate, let me explain. Seed storage conditions are absolutely crucial for successfully keeping seeds alive. In theory, to keep unplanted seeds healthy, you should store your seeds in an airtight box in the fridge. Keeping seeds in the fridge keeps the seeds cool, and the sealed box keeps the humidity reasonably low. But what about unhealthy storage conditions for seeds? Let's take my 34-year-old seeds, for example, which we're trying to germinate. These seeds have sat in a tin box in an allotment greenhouse through multiple geopolitical events and have patiently coexisted with at least 8 UK Prime Ministers. These seeds have most likely baked through 34 summers and frozen in 34 winters. Not ideal conditions for even the toughest of seeds. If seeds get too wet, they might germinate. If seeds are slightly damp, they can decay from fungi and bacteria, weevils and mites. If seeds get too hot, they'll cook, too dry, and the seeds will lose their natural moisture and desiccate and die. Damaged seeds can of course sometimes still germinate, but if your seeds take much longer than it says on the packet, or you have deformed or wonky seedlings, then it's worth buying new seeds. So, time for the big seed reveal. We've waited a week, 7 whole days. Let's see whether any of these 34-year-old seeds have grown and germinated. I have to say, I'm surprised. There are more seed germination successes here than I predicted. The chard or leaf beet has done well. 100% germination here. 2 of the 3 tomato varieties have germinated, although only with a 50% germination rate. Due to this low old tomato seed germination rate, you'd need to plant twice as many of these old seeds compared to planting brand new tomato seeds. As I expected, the runner bean seeds have gone horribly mouldy. Let's get rid of those. Now, these particular seeds have surprised me. The literature told me that onion seeds don't survive more than a few years. But look, these onion seeds from 34 years ago have had a 100% germination rate. We've also got lettuce, Tom Thumb, and some radish, long white varieties, both of which have germinated. Will any late bloomers emerge? I'm going to pop these seeds back in my warm airing cupboard for another 5 days. So, after 12 days in total, the experiment looks fairly similar. But wait, I can now see the watermelon seeds are germinating. That's impressive. I didn't expect these watermelon seeds to survive. But yes, unfortunately, most of my stash of 34-year-old seeds, including the failed parsnips, pumpkins, and aubergine seeds, are only fit for the compost heap. In total, 7 out of the 25 varieties of 1990s seeds have germinated. If I grew all these successful, old but still got it, seeds to maturity, the internet could argue whether or not life, or at least food, was in fact better in the 90s. You might think that all through this video, I've missed the most important question. Just how long can seeds last? What if, say, my seeds were not 34 years old, but 50 years old? There is no clear answer to how long seeds can last, however much you search online. Ultimately, the conditions in which the seeds are stored and the type of seed will both determine the lifespan of an unplanted seed. But nature often finds a way to survive. So, if you find old seed packets lying around and you're curious, like I was, why not try the germination test I outlined earlier? If you would like more tips for growing healthy plants, do take a look at my other videos if you feel like it. Wishing you healthy plants and happy gardening.